If your jazz solo sounds stiff and it's just like you're plopping out a paradiddle or something like that, it's time to add some vibe and inflection to your solo. So today we're going to be checking out how Jeff Hamilton uses buzzes to add vibe and inflection to his solos and make them sound melodic. Without further ado, let's jump right into the first example. So this first example is really simple. Basically, you just right? And there's a couple things to note there. He's doing the buzzes with two hands, right? So you can get a bigger, fatter, gushier one, right? So you go, right? And I've seen him do this a million times. That's really how it gets that big, long sound. Now, the thing that makes it start to sound sort of melodic is the contrast, okay? So there's two contrasts in this really simple lick. One is the difference between short and long, right? And the other is the difference between low and high, right? The first phrase and the second phrase, they both alternate between low and high. And that's something like as drummers, we can get so used to like, I don't know, let me just, just do a bunch of rudiments and stuff like that. But melodies, right? If you think like a saxophonist like Charlie Parker or John Coltrane, their melodies are always going to have low and high. That's a big thing. And then the other thing is they're going to have contrast between short notes and long notes. Whereas, a snare drum solo, it's just going to be a bunch of short notes. So if you want your solos to sound more and more melodic, you have to use more of those melodic kind of concepts. Let's take it even further into the melody with the next example. So this phrase, it goes even further into that sort of melodic feel by using kind of bends and scoops. Let me show you what I mean. So if you listen to like a blues singer, they're going to go, they're going to have all these like bends and scoops. And you hear jazz players do this all the time. But it's imitating that vocal quality, right? That's what makes it human. That's what makes it sound melodic. And to imitate this on the drums, I mean, it's hard to bend this, right? So what Hammer's doing on this is that he's doing that same like double buzz that we heard in the last one. But if you do it across two drums and you actually offset it a little bit, like almost like a flam, where you're hitting the tom first and then the snare, and then buzz both of those, then it has that bendy effect, that because you're kind of imitating going from a lower pitch to a higher pitch, okay? And this is how you can get some more of that vocal quality, is kind of mushing them together in a way that's a little imperfect, but it's so human, right? So he's doing that here when he's moving it across the drums, right? If you flow through it, it just sounds like he's blurring the lines a little bit. Let's check out the next phrase where he goes even deeper into that sort of vocal quality by changing his time feel. Okay, this phrase, I love it. Because like, what is that? It's not a rudiment. It's barely even a rhythm. I wrote it like this. I wrote these kind of like quarter note triplets and eighth notes and different things, but I don't even really think he's really thinking of it like that. It kind of feels more to me like he's just like playing eighth notes, but leaning them really, really far back, right? And this is another big quality of these vocal singers, right? Like jazz singers, they'll lay things back really, really far to be more expressive. Like, fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars, right? They'll lay it back. That's what gets that organic feeling that you hear in jazz music, right? So Hammer will do this kind of stuff all the time when he really stretches out. Right? We're going to start to look at how to put some of these ideas together in a second, but let's go to the next example. By the way, in this video, we're focusing purely on vocabulary, what to play. But if you really want it to come out in your playing, you have to think about why and when to play them. So I can't cover all of that in this video, but that's what I work on with my students at the jazz school. We work together really closely to get you sounding authentic, to stop getting lost in the form, and to start playing with people so that you can go to jam sessions and that you can play gigs. So if that's something you're interested in, click the link in the description to apply for the jazz school to work more closely with me. Or if you want to get to know me better a little bit first, check out my free 7-day jazz drumming course where I'll send you a lesson a day to your email. every day for 7 days. The link is in the description. Let's check out the next example. So this phrase, so tasteful. Right? So simple. Now, this whole lesson has been about buzzes, but not really. It's about how to play melodies, but using buzzes as a vehicle for that. And one of the ways that you make things sound melodic is with repetition, right? Think of a melody like When You Wish Upon a Star. When you wish upon a star, you might wonder where you are. You see how it's like the same melody, but it's just shifted up a little bit, right? That's something we call sequencing, okay? So same idea, move it up a little bit. You hear it in like Bach too, like right? This same shape, but moved across. And that's something that our brains can really grab onto that makes it sound like a melody. It's something that makes sense in and of itself. And so Hammer is doing that here, right? He plays this idea. And then he moves it around like slightly higher, okay? So if you want to start to make your solos sound more melodic, you have to use this repetition. Don't just play lick after lick after lick after lick. Nobody can follow that. It's just going to sound like a jumbled mess, and you're probably going to get lost in it too. Okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to take all these melodic concepts, things like contrast, repetition, things like short and long and bends and scoops, and see if we can put them together to make our own melodic solos. Okay, so each one of those concepts. We have contrast between short and long. We have contrast between low and high. We have laying back in the rhythmic feel, like a jazz singer. And then we also have the bends and the scoops by going across two different drums, right? The last thing is we want to use sequencing and repetition so that it actually sounds like a melody, okay? So you can take that and you can say, all right, now I'm just going to improvise something that combines all of those things. Right? That's just one melody that I came up using those 4 things, okay? You do that for hours. If that feels a little too abstract and you don't feel comfortable enough with that yet, another thing you can do is you can try to imitate the melody of a jazz song. So a song like On the Sunny Side of the Street is good because it has a lot of long and short notes. It goes like 1, 2, 3, be ba da, bo do bo da. And if I play that on the drums, 1, 2, 3. Right? You can hear I can get that stank, that laid back, that vocal quality that gives your solos a vibe and makes it feel like real jazz music. So if you found this lesson interesting, I made a 1-page PDF with all of these buzz ideas from Jeff Hamilton that you can download. You can practice these things. And if you found this useful, then watch more of the videos on this channel. You can subscribe, and there should be another one recommended for you here. See you next time.